every smile, every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste, the therapist. Let's go.
Hi. Hi, Missy. Hi, y'all. Okay, so if you're watching me on the replay, thank you for watching me. I appreciate you. Hey, Frederick. So I am streaming on 3 different platforms. I am on Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube. And the goal behind this podcast is to just help shift the way you think. So I talk to people that are doing things to empower the lives of others. I've been doing this since 2018. And since the pandemic started, I decided to come on live. So I brought my podcast live. So literally what I already do or what I was already doing, now you guys get to like see it live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you mark your calendars. Before I bring on my special guest, I wanted to put up this crisis text line. So one of the things about isolation is that it can bring up a lot of thoughts and emotions and feelings. And so there is this crisis text line, 741-741, where you can connect to a crisis counselor for free. And I also really highly recommend, like, if you are struggling, checking out your local website, so the city or the state website, and kind of seeing what resources that they have. Because I've seen so many different resources that have been put out in my area. And so I'm not really familiar with other areas, but I definitely would highly recommend for people to do that to make sure that you're getting the support you need. So I'm going to bring on my special guest. But before I do, I just wanted to show you kind of, so the school system and the things that are happening. I know that we talked a lot about, what's happening with the kids and the education piece, but I actually started to think about the administratives and the teachers and how they've had to kind of turn things around at a really fast rate. So one of the things that I've seen is a video from my kids' school on YouTube. And it's interesting. I'm going to just play 30 seconds of it. So that is my kid's principal. I seen that and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, you can't hear the sound? Okay. So basically, so that was my first time trying to share my screen. I'm so proud of myself. I figured out how to share it. I got to just figure out the sound piece now. So what was I gonna say? So yeah, let me just bring him on. But at least you guys got to see. Basically, he was going through the school and he did a whole school day. It was so, like, I teared up watching it because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so sad. Like, we are not able, and I went to that school. I actually went to the school that my kids go to when I was a kid. So Mr. Henderson and Miss Gamere, can you guys please introduce, he seems so happy. I know you couldn't, I'm reading the comments, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you please introduce yourself to my audience? I'll start with you, Mr. Henderson.
Well, my name is Walter Henderson, principal of the Matterhunt Elementary School in Tucson Liberatory Academy. Thank you, Celeste, for having us on your show. It's so exciting. It was funny to see that clip, but I guess we'll talk about that later.
I didn't tell you that I was going to do it because I
No,
don't want you to.
you got me on that one.
Ms. Gamere, can you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. My name is Joelle Gamere, and I am the assistant principal of the Hunt Elementary School, home of the Toussaint Louverture Dual Language Academy. And it's a pleasure to be as service to the students.
Yay! So when I asked Mr. Henderson to come on, he was like, I can't come on unless Ms. Gamere comes on because she is behind the scenes. She's my rock. And so I was like, all right, we're going to figure this out. This is my first time having two people on the show. Okay. So we're going to figure out how we're going to navigate it. It's going to be fine.
It'll be fine.
So one of the things about you guys is that you are a principal and assistant principal for a reason. Why are you passionate about like working with the kids?
That's a great question. I love children, and I love education, and I love I guess what really moved me into education and more into leadership was that I was a substitute teacher at one of the local middle schools. And I saw that the teachers weren't bringing it that year. And when the students were taking the big state tests, they weren't prepared. And I said, never, never, never on my watch will I ever see students unprepared. And so I made it my life's mission to eliminate the achievement gap, not just close the achievement gap, but to eliminate the achievement and opportunity gap. So that's kind of what wakes me up in the morning, and that's what drives me. That's what keeps me going. I get up at 4 because I'm trying to be about the mission.
That's awesome. When did you get to the Hunt? What year?
Oddly enough, I did my principal internship practicum training here 12 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I started here in 2016, I think it is.
Okay, because I've been with you since my so I have a 16-year-old I adopted, and when he was 5, he was at the Hunt. So I've never left. The teachers watched me pregnant, and now you have my 2 kids. So yes. You're doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Ms. Gamere, why are you so passionate, and why are you in the career that you're in?
I guess ever since when I was younger, I would always play with my cousins, and I was always a teacher. We always played schoolhouse. And so going into college, I originally started as a bio major, but my passion always lied in education. So I just, after my junior year, switched my major and just went and pursued education. And I've never turned back since. I've been at the Hunt School since 2016 when Mr. Henderson became the principal. But prior to that, I had been servicing the Hunt School. I worked for central office, and Hunt was one of the schools that I worked with. And my heart always gravitated towards the Hunt. I'm a BPS student, born and raised, so I am a product of Boston Public Schools. And so my heart just lies with the Mattapan community, with kids of Boston. I see those kids in me, so
that's awesome. And I feel like people that are from the community that kind of work in the environment, you guys bring a little bit more more substance because you understand what the people are going through that live in that area. Right. Now with everything, so around March, things started to change pretty rapidly. I feel like 1 minute we can have 500 people in one room, then 250, then 10, then 6. And so there's all these things happening. A lot of people were talking about the kids and like, what are we going to do? But then I started thinking about the fact that there's teachers that are also parents, also administrators. Like you guys we're all going through the pandemic, but you're trying to create a system for the people that are also going through this pandemic. I want to hear from both of you on what that kind of looked like on your end with the rapid turnaround.
Yeah, that's a great question. Ms. Gamere, you want to go first, or you want me to take it?
Sure. I guess we could piggyback on. So it started I think our first conference call with the district about this COVID situation probably started around March, 7th or 8th or of the sort. And we had a conference call, and then we had another conference call, and then another conference call. And so each conference call became more serious to the point where we got the when they dropped it to us on, I think it was like a Thursday, to say that Monday, March 16th was going to be your last day. So Mr. Henderson and I and a team of teachers went in on that Saturday and Sunday, and we just started putting together lots of work for the students. We were like 6 weeks, like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do without seeing our students for 6 weeks, but putting together packets, information for families about resources, so that on Monday when we were there, families who were there, the students who were there were able to get materials, and the students and the families who wanted to come in to get those materials. And so that was kind of like our first initiation part of it, our initial, I guess, response to it. But we were just kind of doing it and kind of just going with the motions, but we really didn't know how it was going to impact us. And I think like the last day when we were there on the 16th, some of us had this eerie feeling like that this was going to be it. And the poor students, they were looking at us like with a little bit of confusion, but just really for us to just make sure that we were calming and providing information. And it's a delicate balance sometimes when you're administrator, because you're balancing your approach with the students, your approach with the adults. There's multiple adults in the building. There's multiple teachers. You're working with teachers, you're working with paraprofessionals, the lunch staff, the nurse, families. It's constant people coming at you, and you have to kind of be like a grounded source. Even in your mind, you may feel like, oh my gosh, what's all,
I know.
Tornado going in your brain, but you kind of have to be. And so Mr. Henderson was a really good source of like, let's not panic. Let's go with what we know, and let's just get it together and come together and do what we can at the moment.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right what Ms. Gamere said. I think we were, this is unprecedented times, and it calls for unprecedented measures. But I think what we tried to do was just focus our effort on the children. What do the children need? And that kind of became like our North Star. Let's give the children what they need. We don't want any learning loss, but let's mobilize. And it was great to see all the teachers, pretty much all the teachers, really rallied. They came in on their own time. They came in on the weekend. They came in early, came in late, just because they wanted to make sure that the kids that they're in charge of, that they care for, have what they need. We still have teachers going, like, would you say, on the weekend, bringing gift cards to families, just so that families can get through and make it through. I think at the Matter Hunt, the teachers really, really love the kids and the families and the parents. So I tried to set up an environment where we all can grow. So we call it the Owl's Nest, because that's our mascot's the owl. So we want folks to be able to be in the nest, and then when they're ready to be able to fly from the nest with all the talent and skills that they need, we want them to fly high and soar. But in the meantime, during COVID, the teachers were like, we have to make sure that the families and students have what they need. So that's what drove us.
Yeah, no, that's good. And, you can see the passion as I watch the YouTube videos, because even though I showed a clip of Mr. Henderson, other teachers are involved in this transition. What was that process like on trying to keep the kids engaged? Because I feel like I was at the school with you going through your day watching that. Who came up with that idea, and how does that work? Because you guys have been very consistent delivering content on that channel.
Oh, thank you. You want, it's good. You got that one? Yeah.
I'll start and I'm hand it off to you.
I like that. Y'all a good team. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So I walk into Mr. Henderson's office and he's watching the storytellers on YouTube, and he's like, I love this. I love this. And this is prior to, probably when they were about to announce the closure, but we anticipated the closure. And Henderson said, I want this for our school. And everyone's like, oh, So then he's like, no, we're going to do this. We got to make this happen. So he studied it, and he was like, I want to do this, and I want to bring it up an extra notch. And every time we did something, so the idea came from Mr. Henderson. Usually he has this really grandiose idea, and we're like, oh gosh. But he kind of, it's not like strong arming you, but it's it's like that big brother that's like, come on, man, let's get it done. Come on, we can do this. Come on, so yeah. So then we got together and we put together the YouTube channel, and that was a way for our students too to know that even though they're at home, that they have a connection with us, and so that they can see it, and we give them shout outs, and it's just familiarity for the student. We have all kinds of content that's on there. We have science, we have social studies, history,
everything.
We have music for our students who are in the ABA-based classrooms, like students who may be on the autism spectrum. We have content for them too. Students who are in the dual language, we have different things in Haitian Creole. So there's really content for a lot of the families, and we're learning that a lot of the parents are listening in on the stories too, and sharing them with the students, and the students go on. And so that's pretty much how it started with the seedling of Mr. Henderson, and he just kept saying, let's just, and then that a day at the Matter Hunt was totally his own.
I'm on there learning math with Mr. G. I know I love me some Mr. G.
Right. Yeah. With the YouTube, like Mr. Gamere said, we wanted the students to have to always be able to go back and see a familiar face, because we know that they might not see us for a while. We wanted them to still be encouraged, and we wanted to send them encouraging messages. And so we try to shout out and call people out, during the video, during the YouTube videos. And what happened, a lot of teachers just really got into it. They're like, this is so much fun. And so it became just a fun thing to do. And like you said, put content on the YouTube channel. To date, we have over 30,000 views. And I've gotten calls and emails from central office and folks from other schools saying, hey, I read this to I let my grandchild read. They don't go to your school, but hey, this is so entertaining that they love it. They request it every day.
That is so good.
So
it really brought a smile to my face when I seen it. It's so good.
Well, that's great. And the teachers, it was therapeutic for them too, because they got a chance to share their heart, share their love, share their energy, share their resources with the students. And then what we found, though, is that trying to help the parents, how can we help the parents? So that's what kind of drives us too. How do we give the parents a break? Because a lot of them aren't teachers, so they need some programming, some content, because we know our students are great, but they might drive the parents a little crazy every now and then.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So the teachers are like, hey, let's put some training videos on how to teach the parents how to do certain things, how to do certain skills, how to bring out certain skills in their children. So that YouTube has been like kind of the portal for us to like load content for ourselves, for the students, and for the parents.
I'll share. I'll make sure to share it. People want me to share the YouTube channel. I'll make sure I share my kids' YouTube channel. It's my kids' YouTube channel, but I'll share it.
Matter Hunt.
Wait, go ahead, Ms. Henderson.
I also want to say that Ms. Gamere is really the voice of equity in the school, meaning like whatever we do for students, we got to do for all. Mm-hmm. So for the Haitian community, we have to do read alouds in Haitian Creole as well. Mm-hmm. We have to bring it too. So she really was the one that said, if we're going to do that, we got to do for the Haitian folks too, because they want to be able to access literacy and curriculum as well.
That's good. Actually, that was my next question. I want to bring it to Ms. Gamere because I know that your school is dual language, but I feel like it's the first Haitian dual. I feel like I hear a lot about Spanish, but I don't really hear about the Haitian. My kids are Haitian. I'm American, but my kids are Haitian. So I have a little passion for the Haitian community. Tell people a little bit about what that dual am I saying it right? Dual language?
Dual language program. Yes, you are.
Okay.
So we are the first in the nation Haitian Creole dual language program in the United States. There's no other program that started for early elementary grades. Our programs started in September of 2017, and we started with one K1 classroom. And when we started it, it kind of just dropped on us. Like we knew it was going to be a lot of work. And Mr. Henderson said, come on, bring it on. We can do it. And I'm like,
hey, that's where I know that's his energy, Miss Gamere. I know, I could feel it. I knew that was how he rolled.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Help me, Celeste. Help me. So he said, yeah, we can do it. So, the admin teachers are looking at him like, what? Because I worked in the Office of English Language Learners. And so I know like the amount of work that it would take. And I know that Haitian Creole isn't a language that is easily, that you find a lot of materials for, especially for early grades. But hey, again, we said, let's take it because Mr. Henderson said, let's do it. So we're going to do it. We're going to make it the best. So
and he don't even speak Haitian Creole, right?
I'm sorry.
We don't even speak Haitian Creole.
My wife is Haitian. My wife is Haitian.
So, yep. And so the community really wanted, especially with the rebirth of the Mattahunt School, they really wanted to kind of invest in the community. And part of the Mattapan community is a lot of Haitians in the community. And so we wanted to start off and have this strand, a portion of our school be the dual language school academy. And it was a lot of work, but it was so beneficial for the community, for the school, for the teachers. We were really lucky in having a great group of teachers that first year. That first year, we actually went to Haiti to do some fact-finding mission.
That is awesome.
To so many schools. We went up this mountain that if you went this way, you'd fall down a cliff. If you went this way, you'd fall down.
You went to Mr. Henderson?
Yes, we went as a small team. Yes, we took another teacher with us too and some community members.
Wow.
So we went to go. We visited many schools that taught in Haitian Creole, which is kind of like a movement in Haiti, because French is pretty much the main language of instruction. And we went to this isolated island in Haiti, as we said, to see this really wonderful school called Matenois and the work that they do. And even though that the materials are very scarce in Haiti, that the students actually create their own books so that the older students have books that they create for the younger group. And for us, going to Haiti was really kind of like validating for us and gave us like a rebirth and like a new found energy to bring back to our school. And so that was just a wonderful experience. And the reason that we were able to go to Haiti was because, again, Mr. Henderson said there's this grant by Edvestors. And so why don't you just apply for this grant? So, of course, we applied for the grant. We did get the grant, which was wonderful. And part of the grant is you have to implement some of the work. And then at the end, you kind of showcase the work that you've done throughout the year, and you apply for a bigger grant. And so you compete for a bigger grant. We won that competition.
Wow, that's awesome.
Ms. Gamere won that competition.
What did you say?
Ms. Gamere won that competition.
Yes, with Mr. Henderson's energy of do it. So so Miss Joseph, who is our founding dual language teacher, she and I presented, and we won the grant for the Mattahunt School. And so
that's awesome. And you don't have to be Haitian Creole. You don't have to be Haitian in order to learn the language, right? At the school, anybody can.
No, not at all. Not at all. We
Awesome.
have quite a few students who are not Haitian or not of Haitian descent. We have a lot of students who who come from Haiti and they're in the dual language program. Then we have students who are have Haitian heritage, so their parents may be Haitian and they want to kind of have that culture there. And then we have some students who are Cape Verdean, African American. This K1 cohort has the most non-Haitians in it. And
That's
the families at first were like, I didn't know I had applied for a dual language program, but they were, after the first week, they were like, we love it. We love this program. The kids are just getting so much of just the culture and just a new language and being able to read and write in Haitian Creole as 4-year-olds. The parents have been very impressed.
Yeah, and seeing, it's sad, my kids are Haitian, they don't know how to speak until they started learning by Miss Boudreaux at the Mattahunt. So.
Oh, good.
I know your daughter was in the summer program last summer.
Yep.
She really enjoyed it.
One of the things this podcast does is I want to offer people like some encouragement. But before I ask you guys for some words of like how you're able, how people can work on, whether they're a teacher or a parent, like some encouraging words. I want to know how you two are dealing with everything that's going on.
Ooh, wow. That's a good question. We don't usually get asked that question. I think I'm doing pretty well. I'm grateful that I have a faith in God, and that faith carries me and gives me the strength that I need. I've tried to push my prayer life up to 3 times a day just so I can stay focused, stay encouraged and stay inspired. I think instructionally, I always look back at what Chandra Joseph Lissette over at Young Achievers taught me is to keep my eyes on the prize, keep my focus, and so that's what keeps me trying to navigate the educational Matterhunt ship. Is keeping my eye on the prize. It's about the students. It's about the families. So that's what keeps me going. And then I have a great wife and 2 great boys. I'm trying to use this time as a blessing that they get to be home. We're quarantined together. So let's get deep and let's get open. Let's build our relationships as a family even stronger. But
that's so awesome. It sounds like you've been trying to have some kind of balance.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you were able to answer how you was doing, since you don't typically get asked.
No one asked the big dog that. So
I know. Miss Gamere, you're welcome. Miss Gamere, how have you been holding up?
I've been holding up. Some days it's like a yo-yo, because as a mom, I have twin sons, and so just ensuring that they're okay. I think in the beginning it was tougher, but then I started to really focus and count on my blessings. Number 1, we're healthy. Number 2, we have a roof over our head. We have food in the fridge, and there's a lot of people who don't have those. And so I think it kind of put me in perspective. And so once I kind of took on that approach, it helped me be grounded, I would say, in the situation. Also, as an administrator, everyone's reaching out to us all the time. Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And so sometimes I don't even have time to really sit down and really think of like, okay, this is crazy right now for me. But I have found time to, not usually huge on television, but to actually sometimes sit down and take the time and watch television. I learned how to braid my hair by myself during this time. But I also, what moves me too is because I'm a graduate of Boston Public Schools, I know the immense potential that these students have. And so that keeps me kind of like moving and motivated. And our families at our school, we have the best parents, I would say, in the city of Boston. Our parents are just so into their children, and really, like, I feel humbled that they entrust us with their children. We were facilitating this equity roundtable to really talk about different situations that face the children of Boston, particularly the students at the Matterhunt School. And one of the parents said to us, she said, I feel such an immense responsibility to make sure that I return my child back to the Matterhunt the way the Matterhunt gave me. She said that we've put so much work into him in terms of his intelligence and his abilities that she feels like she is failing him if she's not really keeping up with all of his studies. And so to hear a parent say that is really kind of makes me feel, wow, I'm really this hard work that we're putting in is we see the benefits and we reap the benefits, and the parents really love and entrust us with their children.
That's awesome. That's really good for people that are listening to this this podcast. I want you to pull out what they're saying around the balance and the gratitude. Despite what's happening, it sounds like you're focusing on what you have control over, and you're reminded of your purpose, which is amazing, and that kind of gets you through your day. That's awesome. With you guys being administrators and wearing many hats, whether you're dealing with the parents or whether you're dealing with the teachers, do you have any encouraging words? I've had a few teachers already on here, and I said to them, I had my little schedule ready for COVID. And I was like, yeah, we're going to be doing this and this. And then I was like, I don't know how y'all do it because my kids was suspended, expelled. I couldn't do it. So any encouraging words for parents and teachers
it's
during
not
this time?
just you, Miss Celeste. You know, going into it, I found this really fancy, beautiful, color-coded schedule that I was like, okay, we're going to be doing this. I have 13-year-olds, so you know, it was kind of, the joke was on me. But we're going to do this at this time. Then we're going to have outdoor time, and we're going to do this and art time and craft time. And yeah, the thing about the COVID closure is that it would have been easier to have a schedule if obviously we weren't in the pandemic. And the homeschooling, I think a lot of families are like, oh my gosh, I'm homeschooling. How come I can't do it? There are many people that are homeschooled, but people don't homeschool in this situation. People homeschool, they provide a little bit of instruction to their children, and then they're able to reinforce it by going to the museum or going to a park and doing these things. But doing it in a confined situation, especially like if you live in an apartment, you may not have a yard. So, you know, you might see some lessons that say, okay, go out and grab a leaf and press the leaf and do this, but you just may not have that luxury and that ability to do that. So that part makes it hard. I will say that, you know, try your best to keep to routine in terms of like eating at a certain time or not eating way too much, because I find myself eating way too much. Trying to sleep at a regular, keeping a more of a regular schedule to eat, having that carved out time to do schoolwork. Those are the little things, those are key gains and little successes that you can to kind of feel successful about. But if you're sitting here, okay, we're going to make a schedule from 9 to 9 and we're going to keep it. I mean, kudos to the parents who are keeping it.
Right.
But you have to just like look to see today, did I do this? Did I do that? And just be happy with that. And just really take time to connect and have conversations with your, you know, the people who are around you in the home.
Yes, I love that. So if you hear Ms. Gamere, she's saying connect with the people in your home. Be patient and have compassion on yourself because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and that's like a message I've been trying to drive to people is that you know this isn't our typical day to day. So have that compassion and look at the gains, the little gains. You know, if you can get that math done today, that's a blessing. Maybe the English or the art or whatever didn't get done, but just kind of looking at the small steps and celebrating those moments so that you can find yourself having some peace and more compassion. I love that. Thank you. Mr. Henderson?
Yeah, everything Ms. Gamere I said, I would echo. Everything you said, Ms. Celeste, I would echo. I think what I have to tell myself is that I am enough. I am enough. Sometimes I want to, you know, shoot for the stars and I get down. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. No, as a parent, if you are loving your children, feeding them, giving them hugs and kisses and making sure they are, you know, doing the best they can, that is enough. You are a champion parent. You are an amazing parent if you just do that every day. Just get up, be you. You are enough, and just love your children. That's all we can ask. And then during this time, that's what makes you a hero. That's what makes all the parents a hero, is getting up, loving their children.
Yes, thank you. This was amazing. I know there's some amazing teachers at the Matterhorn. I'm watching them on YouTube and I see them, I know them well. But I know leadership starts, you know, to have that kind of amazing atmosphere, it starts at the top. So I just want to thank you, Mr. Henderson and Ms. Gamere, for all the amazing work that you're doing, because I know like the YouTube channel, nobody forced you to do that and put all of your energy into it, and everything else that you guys do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yay! This was good. Thank you, Mr. Henderson, Ms. Gamere, for making space to come on my late night mental health show.
Nice.
And so we're gonna say bye. Everybody loves you guys, by the way. And so if you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm gonna have a link to the YouTube channel and the show notes, so you can click on it and follow them. because apparently you don't have to just go to the school. I guess anybody can watch my school, I guess.
Right.
I'm a little.
What a kids.
I'm a little jealous, harboring, you know. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Bye.
Bye.
Pleasure.
Okay, that was good. That was amazing. I'm so glad that they agreed to come on. You know, one of the things about, I know they're so amazing. Oh my gosh, everyone's like, wow. So one of the things about this pandemic is that so many different people are being affected in different ways. And so like, I'm grateful that I was able to hear the behind scenes on what it looked like on their end, because I know like they're human and they are affected as well, you know? So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, to talk to somebody else, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Celeste the Therapist. If you have a show idea or want to be on the show, email me info@celestetherapist.com. And love you guys. Until next time, I will talk to you later.
Every laugh, every smile, every hug, every kiss, every touch, every person in my life that I care about and love. But wait, maybe I'm getting too emotional. That's exactly what they say you ain't supposed to do. Suppress your feelings, never talk about your pain. Can't appreciate the sun without acknowledging it rains, right? That's right. So this a moment of clarity. And make sure you always protect your energy. You stay focused and your life gon' be lit. And you are now rocking with Celeste the Therapist. Let's go.